Hey everybody, today we're going to be building let's open this box up, see what's inside. It's the tape and crossbones kit from Cyber City Circuits with the red LEDs. Let's go ahead and see what they got in there for us. There's a little note on there that says the LEDs on this badge should be installed in a specific way. The long lead goes through the circle hole right there, and the short lead goes through the square hole right there. Well, alright. Let's put that on the bag. Look at that. So let's see what we got. We got our board. We got a battery, a couple LEDs, a button, a battery holder, and a little badge clip. So we're going to have to solder. So to solder, I'm going to have my cleaning sponge here. I got some solder. I have my soldering iron. It's already been heated. But before we do that, we have to go over some soldering safety rules. These are important, so pay attention. Always keep your work area clean and organized. Soldering can be dangerous. Keeping your work area clean will help prevent accidents from happening and keep you safe. Only solder in well-ventilated areas. Turn on a fan if you have one. Maybe open a window, right? You want the fumes to leave your area so they don't go up your nose. Now, if a little bit does, it's okay. But if you're soldering a lot, you need to have a fan, fume extractor, things like that. But really, if you just turn on a ceiling fan or you have a little oscillating fan near you, you'll be okay. So use care while soldering. You should know that soldering irons are hot. That means you might get burned. It's okay. Everyone gets burned at least once when you're soldering. You solder enough, you're going to get burned. We can use things like tweezers and clamps to help. I don't think we're going to need that for this project. But just be aware the soldering irons are hot and it hurts when you get burned. Never leave your soldering equipment on when you're not there to watch it. So if you walk away, go ahead and turn your soldering iron off. Yeah, it takes time to heat back up when you come back, but guess what? You're not catching anything on fire when you walk away, right? So the smart thing is just go ahead and turn the thing off, and it'll be there when you get back. If you're using a sponge to clean your soldering iron, like this one right here that's not wet, because I'm actually going to be using this, but if you're going to use a sponge to clean your soldering iron, it needs to be wet. It needs to be really wet, okay? Don't use a dry sponge to clean your soldering iron. Always wear eye protection. Glasses, safety glasses, goggles. Solder gets up to 400 degrees Celsius. Now, if 400 degrees Celsius solder gets in your eye, you're going to have a really bad day. You're going to end up in the hospital, and there's just going to be trouble. So always wear some sort of eye protection. No matter what you do, wash your hands. So solder, this right here, has a flux type of material on the inside. That's what makes it work. And that flux material can be considered toxic. So before you eat, before you touch your face, before you drink something, right? Go ahead and wash your hands. Do not use soldering equipment that has obvious damage. If you have a soldering iron and it's damaged, maybe it's melted, the cord's broken on it, something like that, don't use it. Get it repaired or buy a new one. And always try to manage your waste in one place. So that could be a magnet tray. That could be a little bin that you just throw your waste in. But that way it doesn't get on the floor. You don't want to clip the leads on these LEDs and then end up on the floor, right? So let's go ahead and get started making this badge. I got a little bit of dirt in my work area. Alright, so first we're going to flip it over. The first thing we're going to put on is we're going to put our button on. So to put the button on, First, we're going to need to take a pair of pliers. Now, these are wire strippers, but you see they have a little grip end. And we're going to take the leads on our button, and we're going to straighten them out. Just like that. So that the leads go out through the side. And then we're going to take our iron, we're going to clean it. And you always want to have a little bit of solder on your tip. See? And we're going to put a little bit of solder on our button pad right there. Okay? And then we're going to put our button on it. And we're just going to hold it down while we heat the pad. Like that. And we can turn it around. We're going to heat this pad. Now we don't even have to hold it. It's in place. The solder's holding it in place. So we're good. See? Now our button's on there. Next, let's go ahead and put our LEDs in there. Now remember earlier, we had the note on the bag. What did the note say? Our long leads go through the circle hole, while our short leads go through the square hole. So this is what this meant. You see how the leads on the LED, one's longer and one's shorter? So we're going to put our longer lead through the circle hole and our short lead through the square hole. And we'll do it again with the other LED. Just like that. And then we're going to hold it down, and we're going to hold it down, and then we're just going to bend our leads back some. Just like that. And then I'm going to clean my iron. I'm going to add a little bit of solder to my tip. Now the trick when soldering a lead on a component, let me zoom in. Here we go. Whoa! All the way down. Got my focus. The trick is you don't want to heat the pad. You want to heat the lead right here. So this component lead right here, I want to heat that. So I add a little bit of solder. And then I want that to get so hot that the lead itself melts the solder. Like that. See that? Just like that. See? Now let's go ahead and check them, make sure that the LEDs are oh. So let's zoom back out. Whoa! So let's go ahead and check them, make sure our LEDs are on there straight. And they are. But if yours aren't on straight, all you have to do is hold in one end of the LED and then tap your leads, and then they'll fall back in straighter, just like that. See? Next, we got one part left, and that's our battery holder. So let's go ahead and put that on there. So this one's a little trickier because the leads aren't going to bend as easy, right? And it's just going to fall right out. So we're going to put it in there the same shape as the battery holder. See how there's a square part right there? And there's a square part on the battery holder. So we're going to put it in there in that way. And then all we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of solder on our tip. And we're going to touch that pad. And that's just going to get us enough solder to hold it in place. It's not falling. It's not done either. And then using the same method we did before for the LEDs, let's go ahead and zoom in. There we go. Using the same method, we're going to tap the lead, heat it up, and then apply solder. Now it's definitely in place, and we just got to do the same thing over here. Because remember, this solder was only meant to hold the thing in place so we can do the pins. So let's go ahead and zoom back out. Now we're going to use our cutters. And we're going to cut our LED lead off. Now remember, you want to be careful not to get these on the floor, okay? Because you don't want to get these in your feet. They hurt. So here's something interesting. Let's go ahead and zoom in. See there, those two solder pads, they're touching each other. That's not good. That's bad. But we can fix it. So to fix that, I'm going to clean my soldering tip. See, it's nice, bright, and shiny. Okay? And then what's going to happen is I'm going to heat this up, and then the solder is going to grab onto the soldering tip. And I can pull the solder away, just like that. Just like that. Okay? Now, if you have too much solder, there's another thing you can use. It's called wicking braid. I'll show you a little bit better in just a moment when we zoom back out. But what you do is you put it on, let's move over. You put it on where you have too much solder, and then you heat it up, and then what it does is it takes the solder that's on that pad and it puts it in the braid. So it pulls the solder out of your soldering point. Let's go ahead and add in a little bit more. Make up for that. Okay? Let's go ahead and zoom back out. I'll show you that soldering braid here real quick. So that's all this is. And this is, you can get these on Amazon. We're going to have these in our store soon. If you're watching this video, they might be in the store. They're not in the store right now. But you might not need it. So let's go ahead. Let's open up our battery. Let's put that battery in a badge and see if it works. Let's push the button. Bam. That's pretty neat. Then we can take our clip, run it through the top, and there you go. So now it's something you can wear. Check that out. You can put it on your backpack, you can put it on your purse, you can put it on your jacket. Right now it's almost summertime, so you're probably not going to put it on your jacket, but you might be watching this in the winter. Who knows? It'll look cute on your jacket though. One more thing. These leads from the battery holder, kind of sharp. Let's go ahead and clip those off. And you notice when I'm clipping them, I face it down so that the lead that I clip doesn't shoot off into my face. It shoots off onto the table, into my work area. Well, there you go. So these could be purchased at cybercitycircuits.com. Right there, cybercitycircuits.com. If you have any questions or comments, we're on Twitter at MakeAugusta. And I hope you have a great day. See ya.